In this video, we're going to mess around with the dragon. 5 health, mono red. In fact, all of OP-07 is all mono. But in this case, dragon likes to do something a little bit different. He's similar to the original Monkey D. Luffy. Instead of 1, you get 2, but instead of rested on, it is attached on. So one of the cheeky things you can do on turn 2, for example, is so you play Battle Bay on turn 1, right? You're at 1, then turn 2, you're at 3 Dawn. You can attach 2 Dawn to Dragon, slap them for 7, they have to take a life, and then you can use ability to attach to Betty, add that 1 free Dawn, and swing for 5. So you're almost always you're going to take a life, and they're going to lose a card, which is actually pretty big. Did I say car? I meant card. But in any case, just little things like that can lead to some cheeky shenanigans here. Also, with the addition of Kid and Killer, it rewards aggressive play pretty well, so nice to have him as a 4 of here. And you got a lot of 2K counters that double as minuses, so we got the 2000 Atama, and then we got the 3000 Koala. Now, normally these are just used for counters, but they can come in handy whenever you see Lindbergh in play. Preferably when you play either Ivankov or other Ivankov. So this can seem harmless, but can be very dangerous when applied in the right circumstance. Also, we got rushes for days. So we got 15 rushes total. And then we got the rest of the revolutionary meat. So we got Ivankov again. And then the minus 1000 Karatsu. Really scary Crowman. Do not mess with Crowman. And then the other 4-drop that we're playing is the Banished Inazuma. Now, this can come up more because we can, again, mess around with the 2 Dawn. We could just make them lose cards like there's no tomorrow. And then, because we're red, and because we like to rush them down, we might be running out of resources faster and gas out, and they may have a whole bunch of walls set up, but we have a solution to that, and that is the Ancient Luffy, the one that doesn't care about your blockers. And yeah, this can straight up win games. As far as, even though we have a whole bunch of non-counter, we got how many? We got 18 non-counter, which is really high. Playing this feels like it doesn't really hurt that much because we're just simply playing it. And we're not really using counter to protect our own life unless we get to that really low point, but it's rare that we hardly do. And if that does happen, we probably already lost. But yeah, we got some games for you. We got 5 of them. Let's get right to it. Alright, so we got Dragon here. We like what we see, so we'll play Betty. Betty, we are going to get the only thing that, well, actually, that's not true. We're going to get Ivankov, I think. We need to put some building blocks with Lucci. Alright, so they pick nothing, which is a benefit to us for obvious reasons. So we don't have anything to play on turn 2, so we'll just swing 7. Alright, so they take, and then we'll attach the rest of the Dawn with leader ability to swing another 5 so that they lose a card. Okay, Helmeppo's gone. Alright. So Spandam defeats Betty, and then we'll take 5. Compelled to take this one, it seems. So yeah, we don't get the multicolored play on trigger. Sad. So they eliminated a Lucci and a Helmeppo from that. Alright, so I think we can just straight up swing 5. And then we'll play one of the Ivankovs. Let's see what we get. Oh, okay, at least it's a revolutionary, but that's not what we want to see. Okay, scary Luffy. We do not. We'll take that one, however. Alright, so we're at 7. I think we can do the same thing here. We'll just swing 7 to leader. Alright, so they take. Then we're going to attach 2 make it an 8 cost swing. Okay, so they eliminated 2 2Ks. Now, they did play some OP-8 stuff, but at the same time, it's hard to get the OP-7, OP-8 things because, you know, it kind of gets mixed up. It's always OP-08 or EB-1, nothing in between. But we're just going to keep going with pressure, and we're going to just swing for the fences. We still got some rushes left, so we can still put on hardcore pressure. Okay, so just swing at us here. We'll take it. Mainly, I'm not too concerned with my life. I'm more concerned about saving my characters, though it's very likely that they'll get popped. Okay, so they set up a lobby. So it's likely that they're going to pop both our characters here. So they're just going to play Sabo instead. So just one blocker. But they don't have the means to pop any of our guys. Well, actually, they do with the Luffy. So we'll lose one of them. And so with that happening, they're going to turn that 6 into a 7 with that big Luffy ability. And what we're going to do is counter out, because we need another attacker in order to make this work. So they have 1 life, 5 cards in hand. So I think we're just going to swing 70 here. We'll see if we can get rid of 2 cards in hand. Okay. Now we're going to choose the attached on, attach, and swing 9. Okay. Still in a good position here. Maybe since they have a hard time putting pressure, we can put this down and play an Ivankov. Ivankov into Ivankov. And I think this is probably a mistake, because what we should have done was attach the 2 Don to Ivankov and play another 4 cost. We'll counter out Moria's in place so they can bring up their blockers. So that's 1 blocker. Helmeppo. And then they get spending to go back into Root Lucci. And so our Ivankovs are gone. But they can't really do much here. They only have Luffy and Khalifa. So counter out of that one. And then Luffy's going to try to go after Kin Killer. So we'll counter out of this too. Okay. So I think at this point we got him. We're going to do attach 2 once again. And swing. So that's 2 2K counters gone. And then we can just swing 7 with impunity. And we can go 5. And swing. See if they have the counter. They do not. We're going to play Luffy, attach 2 Don, and swing. Yeah, big mistake was not putting that Revolutionary Army into life. Or not into life, into field. Because we needed that extra swing. It was too close. And that could have been a lot more farther down. Alright, so we got some more Rob Lucci action here. Alright, do we like this hand? I think I like this hand. Alright, so we got our searcher here, so we can do our 7-5 combo. Let's see, I think we're gonna get some more bodies on there, so we're gonna get Ivankov. Lobby is up. Scary. And we should have got the Karatsu, but we wouldn't have known that Ivankov would be drawn next. But yeah, we're going to go 7 here. And then we're going to attach the rest of our Dawn to Betty to get that card out of hand. So they lose a Rebecca, which means they probably have another one. Okay, so straight 5 we'll take. There's our bird. And yeah, I was right. They had another Rebecca. Probably going to get, okay, so they got the big zombie Luffy. We'll just swing straight 5, and then we'll play Ivankov, the 5 dropped. Okay. And we're just going to bring out Lindbergh so that we can have pressure on Rebecca. Alright, so they'll attach and turn it into a 6. We'll take this 2. And Kaku's going to pop the Lindbergh, it seems. Because that saves Rebecca from getting popped automatically. Yep. Okay, so we have options here. Now, the question is, what do we do with said options? We'll attach 7 here. And see what they do with that, so... Nothing too crazy. We'll put Ivankov up to put additional bodies, and instead of going to our friend, we could drop this off. So we can go put Karatsu up, and now it's going to be a 6-4 anyway. So they may be inclined to block this attack. Nope, they take it. Okay, another Street 5. We'll counter out with Ivankov. Then 6-6 will protect. Yakomori is going to bring some stuff back. So it's just a 4 and a 1 this time. They could bring Spandine just in case. But wait a minute. They either don't have it or they can't say enough. So if we have all those bodies on board, we're likely going to put them in a lot of trouble. Though they do have 2 blockers that we need to deal with. So we'll just go straight 7 here. See if we can get 2 cards out of hand or a blocker. Now, in hindsight, I probably should have dropped the Karatsu here, so that'll be a 7-4 situation. So, mistake on my part. But they used blocker anyway, so we weren't punished. Alright, so we're going to go 1,000 here. And then we're going to use leader ability to attach the other 2 Dun that's on the Ivankov into the Karatsu. And then that's going to be a 7-3 situation. So the next blocker is down. So now we have all this done ready. We'll go 7-3. And they had to get rid of 3 cards for that. And then we'll go 2 to disband them. And then we'll go 6-3. And then we're going to drop Zoro. And go 7-3 here. Okay, so Ice Age popped Zoro. Unfortunate. Okay, so they -5 on the Karatsu. And Lucci's going to pop both Ivankov and other Karatsu. So they'll successfully clear board. This might be a mistake. Just casually swinging instead of confirming it. Okay, so yeah, nothing we can do about that, but we do have 2 bodies. Though they do have blocker. So I guess they see if they can counter out one of these swings. We're going to attach 2 here to Ivankov and swing for 7. I was contemplating either using Dragon or Zoro here, but I'm thinking we're going to do Zoro. That way we have 2 contained swings instead of 1 big one, 1 small one. Okay, so to counter out of that, we're going to swing 8, however. We're going to swing 8 into leader. See if that helps us, and there's a blocker. And then all we have to do is attach 2 to Ivankov and attach the other 2, and then we should get 9 for game. Cool. You're able to rush them down before you did any tangible damage. Let's try going second. Let's see what happens. I think it feels awkward for them to use their 3 Dawn this turn. They certainly can, but it might kill their momentum. Okay. Alright, so we got Kid and Killer live. Interesting move here. We'll go 7 here. And then we'll go 9. Then we'll see what happens. I don't think he's going to run Shariah up. So let's see if he can beat me down. Okay. We don't lose anything. Okay, so in this case, we might have a chance. This is always going to happen. We'll go 7. They might just put sure and then drop a card. But let's see what they do here. Nope. Sorry, Sonny. That was a mistake. But they didn't have that much counter, so they had 3 Reijus, so 4. We had 2, and then 1 more. It wouldn't have mattered. Nice job, Luffy. We're trying to find Ivankov. That's one Ivankov. We'll just swing 7 here. Sanji is actually pretty useful here because we need to get our life low. Or at least to less than 4 so we don't get Gadatsu to death. But let's see if they'll swing. I want them to swing. Okay, so Frankie, so they play a vanilla. Alright, so Ivankov will go first. and then play Inazuma. And then we'll use Sanji to put us to 7. And all we have to do is go 5. And we just want to get him to 1. And then 7. All right. So yeah, Sanji did his thing. We can't get Kadatsu'd anymore. We have Kin Killers in life. They're at 6, so Cat's going to be happening soon, but... Okay, so we're at 7, so we can pull off another Ivankov. And Shirahoshi is pretty wild. So I'm guessing they're setting up their Shirahoshi to be tucked in for next turn. And yeah, we're going to have to let that one go. They're keeping that one alive for now. I'm thinking we still put pressure on. But let's see. We'll go 7. No attachments, so we'll go 7. And that's with Banish. And so we got rid of that for free. Then I think we can... Now we can do 2 things. We can either swing... Or maybe we can just build up another board. We'll build board. Ooh. I like this too much. We'll try to protect the Inazuma if we can, but if not, that's fine too. We have Dragon for next turn. So we're going to protect this Inazuma with all our might, so maybe we can't. No, we don't have any 2K counters, so we're going to have to let that go. Yep, so Gadatsu can only take out 3s. Alright, so we're at 9 down this time. Now we can do some shenanigans. We can play Dragon here. Tuck him. And then we'll go 8. See if we can get life. Hit my head with a brick. We just dropped something. So they lost... They discard Flampe, so they lost 2 2K counters. So now we can use leader ability. And then go 6. Then 5. Okay. That's a good sign, assuming we don't get triggered. And we go 8. And then to put him under a clock, they'll take this next life. Yep, but the thing is, now they have cards, so they only have a few things that can save them. So, sure, we'll counter out of that. Trying to keep at least 3 bodies on board. We might only have 2. Get rid of that too. Yep. So, now we have options here. I think the first option is to go 5 here. Okay, no trigger here. We'll go 7. I'll have to drop 1. Okay, now we're going to go another 7. Then we'll go straight 9. Time for dragon action. Let's go first. We'll keep this. Alright, so we got Betty. Whew. Do we want dragon or do we want stuff? It sucks that we're not going to see Karatsu here. We'll go for dragon. We want big stuff. Okay, so they're either searching for little stuff or big stuff. Sabo is that's the small Sabo. And then they have another Sabo. That's the 5-drop Sabo. Alright, so we got Ivankov here. The only thing we can really do is swing. We'll go 7 here, which they'll take. And they'll attach. And then go 5 here. The Luffy's going to be key with all the blockage. Nothing wrong with that. Take. Alright, so we got more Luffy. Let's just swing for 5 here, which they'll probably take. Yep. So Ivanka will drop. Place this down. And we'll see where we go from here. Alright, 6 Dawn. They have 11 cards in hand. So we can do some real damage to their hand sides if we can get them right. Okay, so they're gonna go up to 7 this time. They're gonna play Sabo. They're gonna attach and swing 9 at us. They're not gonna overkill? Well, that gives us options. So they have another Sabo in hand. Wait. Huh? Hold up. Why didn't you swing? Why didn't you get your 2 life back? Either way, I'm very confused. So I think this is always going to happen. We'll -2, turn that to 6. Okay, so that's 1 down. That's 2 down. Then we'll go another 6. Okay. And then we'll go Luffy. You'll use leader ability. And try to make them forced to lose 2 more cards. And we have all this counter here to protect our stuff. So I have 2k counters, and they lost a small Luffy. So they can't Gecko Moria and then put 2 Dawn at the same time. So the most important thing is to protect as many of our guys as we can. So we rushed them to a position where they can't really do both. They can't play Gecko Moria and they can't... Yeah. Alright, so they're attaching, so they're going to add 2 life in hand. They're going to lose a card, so they're going to be down to 2 life. Alright, so they're gonna have their Luffy. Small Luffy. So Luffy's gonna take out the Karatsu. Okay. So now they're at 4,000. We're gonna have to put everything into the Luffy. Okay, so it's 11. Okay, I think we can do this. So it's 11, so that's... Alright. We can mess with this. We'll counter out of that. Okay, so they're forced to do that. Okay, so we're at 9. So I think the only maneuver here is this. We're going to deploy Dragon here. And then we're going to go 9 here. And then we're going to use leader ability to block with Sabo, but that's fine. So now, even if they make big hands, and even if they get Gecko Moria and combo out, all we have to do is simply play Luffy and go for game. I think we have this. Alright, so they're gonna have to trash a card. Okay, so they trash Sabo. So this could be a Gecko. The last card in hand. Oh no, it's not. Okay. Then this becomes a lot more simpler. So yep, that goes. Really? Huh, I think we just simply win. We can just go 9 here. Yep. And then we can just go 2 here. And then we can deploy everything here. We'll just swing. And there you have it. Monkey D. Dragon in OP-07. The red is add again with its high aggression, high octane hits, and going wide too, which is going to be really needed in OP-07 with all the law shenanigans. So what we had here was we had 15 rushers, so we had 4 kids, 4 dragons, 4 Luffys, 3 Zoros. I think we could cut this down to 3 and Luffy down to 3, and what we did to replace these is to add Akumas here. So this is sort of like the Nico Robin of Red, but it's searchable, and we could also pop any Gordons or Maxes in case Red Purple Law, because they like to do this sometimes. They like to throw in a Gordon or Max, one of these guys on turn 1, and sometimes they might just throw them, outright. So we could punish them big time for that. So Kuma's here to do some palm action and yeet them out of existence. So yeah, that's about it. Anything else that would be considered a change? You have a different archetype we can talk about in the comments. Like, share, and sub. And yeah, I will see you on Monday. Not bad enough. Signing out.